and gentlemen, a couple of housekeeping items. First and foremost, Senator Mike Lee is signing autographs at booth 43. Booth 43, yes, that is. I was hesitant to announce that when he was speaking because I know how people are. They're like me, and they're like, first! And they'll run towards the door, and then it'd be an empty room. I would also like to thank a few people on behalf of the American Conservative Union. Obviously, all of the sponsors, all of the exhibitors here today who made today's event possible. We would love to be able to thank everyone individually, of course, but especially a big thanks to our partner, the Show Me Institute, especially Brenda Talent, who has done so much here in St. Louis. Sponsors Citizen Link, How Money Walks, Travis H. Brown, the Tea Party Patriots, Foster Freese, the official local newspaper partner, West News Magazine, love those guys, and Mid-Rivers News Magazine. And of course, I would love to thank again FM News Talk 97.1, my radio station. And I want to thank CPAC for picking St. Louis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, Frank Donatelli, has worked for Senators McCain and Dole. He's also worked for President Ronald Reagan, and he's the chairman of GOPAC. And what I love about this organization is we have so many national organizations that focus on national candidates, but there are not as many organizations that focus on state and local candidates, and that's exactly what GOPAC does. In fact, 84% of the candidates that were sponsored by GOPAC won their races. Folks, it starts in your own backyard. GOPAC understands that. Please help me welcome Frank Donatelli.
Thank you very much. Good morning, fellow conservatives. It's going to be a great conference, isn't it? We've had a great lineup already. I've been involved with CPAC for a long time now, since the beginning, going back 40 years. And it's delightful to see that this conference is still going strong. All those years ago, we conceived of CPAC as really performing two functions. Number one, to help a fellow who was thinking about running for president all those years ago by the name of Ronald Reagan. And he came to virtually every CPAC when he was running for president and when he was in office. And I remember one year when I had the honor of working for President Reagan in the Reagan White House. I remember one year he said to me, Frank, when is CPAC? I'm going to go this year, aren't I? And I said, yes, sir, don't worry, you're going to go to CPAC. So he was the #1 booster. But the other reason was to develop a cadre of conservative activists that would get to know each other, that would bond, that would work together, and that would form the backbone of conservative campaigns and conservative activities all across the country. And I'm so delighted to see 40 years later, CPAC continues to do that. So give yourself a round of applause. It's really terrific. It's really terrific. Not only do we now have a national CPAC in Washington, but regional CPACs across the country. So very, very good for the conservative movement. The second thing I wanted to say is I am here as chairman of GOPAC, an organization that's been around almost as long as CPAC. And our focus, as has been said, is to focus on the grassroots and to elect, train, and educate the next generation of conservative Republican leaders. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to tell you that our bench is as strong as it has ever been. We have great Republican conservative legislators all across the country in most of the large states. And despite the calcification and the gridlock that you've heard about that involves Washington, D.C., at the state level, in states that are controlled by Republicans, there are very exciting things going on. Taxes are being reduced, regulations are being eliminated, services are being provided at far more economical and efficient ways, and that's all being led by this new generation of Republican legislators and our conservative governors. So while the present appears to be difficult in Washington, I'm here to tell you that as somebody that focuses on the grassroots, things in the future I think are going to be much better. Now, thank you, absolutely. Now we're here partnering, GOPAC is here partnering with ACU in support of our 10 Under 40 program. And we are very honored to have, and you are going to be hearing throughout the day, 10 under 40 legislators who we think represent the best in the upcoming development of conservative leadership. And I used to say that, and so that's very, very important that we hear what they have to say, because someday, hopefully, you're going to be seeing one of these individuals and you're going to be calling them governor, or you're going to be calling them senator, or maybe Mr. or Madam President. After all, the President of the United States, this President of the United States, 7 years ago was in the Illinois State Senate. Too bad he's not still there, huh? The country would be in a lot better shape. Illinois is a great place. It's the land of Lincoln and Reagan, after all. So we're still looking for great things from Illinois in the future. So I've said that you're going to be hearing from at least 10 of our legislators, and all of them are outstanding. One I want to particularly note because she's coming up to speak here in just a minute. Clarice Navarro-Ratzlaff is exactly the kind of person we need as conservatives to develop the new majority that we're looking to develop in the next couple of years. Comes from very humble beginnings, decided to become a Republican because as a small businesswoman faced a lot of adversity. Decided to run in a very difficult year in 2012 in a difficult district, and she won. And she's now contributing to our conservative movement in Colorado. This is exactly the kind of person we need if we're going to develop a new majority. So I'm very, very anxious for you to hear what she has to say. I will just close with this, that we all want real reform. We're here to talk about ways that we can reform entitlements, cut taxes, eliminate Obamacare, and many, many good strategies are being discussed. But in the final analysis, ladies and gentlemen, the only way that we are going to accomplish those goals is to win elections. We haven't done that in the last couple of years, but I think the issues are on our side. We have the candidates, we have the grassroots. If we all work together, I think 2014 and 2016 can be great years for the conservative movement. So GOPAC is very, very pleased to be part of this, partnering with ACU. I hope you enjoy listening to these young legislators. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.